They take on NC State next.
I'm doing the best I ever did. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best I ever did. Now go away.
This is ABC's College Basketball presented by Payne Weber from Raleigh, North Carolina. NC State and the Wolfpack hosting the Duke Blue Devils. It is coming up in a few moments' time. John Saunders and Digger Phelps. For Duke, a win in this game clinches at least a share of first place in the ACC for the 4th consecutive year and 7 out of 10.
Well, Duke likes to come out with those quick runs, and of course, NC State losing 4 in a row. It's the way they lose 4 in a row. At Wake Forest the other night, Wake jumps out 21-5. That cannot happen today. But what really hurts, Ron Kelly and Marshall Williams, who had 29 the overtime loss at Duke, they're not even playing today.
All right, we of course will see at halftime. Right now, before we get out to the game, let's check a couple of scores. Georgia leading Kentucky in the SEC, and LSU also in the SEC over Arkansas 17-9. Chris Carawell, many people feel he has been the best player in the country this year. Hard to argue. It's Duke against NC State. Brent Musburger and Dick Vitale will have the call.
Using ESPN.
Dick, let's get right to it. How big is this game now for North Carolina State?
I'll tell you one thing, Brent. It is big. If their dream is to get to the big dance, they've lost 4 games in a row. They went 15-4, sitting pretty, but they lose 4 in a row, playing without 2 of their key players. They must find a way to get a W, to get the attention of all the selection committee, baby. And the way to get it is against a team that's won 62 in a row against unranked teams.
My partner's ready, folks. The Toyota starting lineups today. Let's start with the Road Warriors, the Duke Blue Devils. Chris Carawell in an OT victory over State back in mid-January, a career-high 30 points. As far as State is concerned, and Herb Sendik's team, he needs Anthony Grundy to step up. He's been slumping, only 5 points in each of the last 2 games. Now let's take you back to that first meeting. Digger Phelps told you that both Kelly and Williams are out. Huge losses for State in this game. Carawell and Boozer led the way for Mike Krzyzewski in that first game. Our officials, Mike Wood, Curtis Shaw, and Ray Natili, and we are just about underway. Controlled by the Blue Devils.
One of the great matchups early this year was that overtime game. It was a beauty.
Battier on the drive, comes up with the game's first shot and kisses it in off the glass.
He's been making shots like that all year. Just a big-time player. The combination of Battier and Carawell, the best combo in the nation.
Gainey runs the floor. He'll wear number 12.
A lot of patience, a lot of poise. They haven't been making shots, Brent. That's been their problem, shooting the basketball.
Can't turn it over, but they don't. Ball goes out of bounds. James couldn't control it, so it'll go back to State.
Another big problem they've been having is their big guy, Thornton's been getting in foul trouble. As you look at Mike Krzyzewski on the sideline, a brilliant coach with an unbelievable track record.
Here, Grundy gives it up now, and Gainey will bring it back down to the attack. Damien Wilkins, number 1, the freshman, one of the more talented freshmen in ACC land. And he's got great bloodlines. The entry pass is down low, but they can't tie it as Thornton misses his first shot.
Yeah, you're talking about Gerald Wilkins being his dad and his uncle, the highlight film himself, Dominique.
He looks like the family, too.
Yeah,
Here's Jason Williams, another very talented freshman, nails the 3, and so Duke jumps out. That's something you cannot afford to have happen against the Blue Devils.
Well, as Digger pointed out earlier, against Wake Forest, they got down big on the road and got blitzed in that game, their last game, NC State.
Dick, that's a great man-to-man defense of the Blue Devils. They're just scratching and clawing, forcing a turnover right there. Carawell comes up, but they're awesome defensively.
Well, you and I were talking about it off the air, how they always come to play.
Battier hits another 3, and what kind of a start is that for Sendik and the Wolfpack? That's brutal.
Get a TO, baby.
8-0. We got our first time out. 18:25 left here in the first half. There's some rumbling about Herb Sendek here in this area. Remember, this is a school that suddenly ousted football coach Mike O'Kane because he couldn't handle North Carolina down the stretch. But in fairness to him, he is shorthanded with those two injured players, especially against Duke. But they have not handled this defense well yet.
Well, the defense has really been attacking. There's a little penetration.
They got an offensive rebound and then lost it as they came down with it. And here comes Jason Williams again. Inside, beautiful dish. And putting it away is Carawell.
They're just beating North Carolina State up and down the floor in transition. Their defensive transition's not there. Look at the focus and look at the intensity of the Duke kids. They're really attacking defensively.
Grundy to the glass. Couldn't get the roll. Rebound, Carawell, one and out.
Can't buy a shot. Grundy in one of those slumps you talked about earlier, shooting 30% since February 2nd.
Battier coming up. And run back down. Kenny Enge, who hadn't touched the ball offensively, was trying to track that one down and went out of bounds.
And they're not going to be able to get any kind of offensive productivity off their bench. And look at Coach K. Has a great deal of success against NC State. Jimmy V used to say, check the records, though. I beat him more than he beat me.
Yes, he did.
He used to say that jokingly. I have great love and admiration for Mike.
Force another turnover with that pressure defense. Gainey tried to go, but a bad pass at the other end, and back to the Wolfpack. And here's Grundy.
They got to hit a shot. You got to hit a shot.
That time, battle for the loose ball. Enge coming up, and finally a foul, and they'll go to the free throw line, and maybe they can break the schneid there.
They got a lot of experience on that baseline, Brant. As you look at Herb Sendick, went to Carnegie Mellon, was an outstanding student. I'll tell you one thing about Carnegie Mellon. Their women's team got beat by Washington University of St. Louis. As you look here at the field goal numbers, 0 for 5. And Washington University, 61 in a row. Congratulations, the longest win streak since UCLA's men's team won 88 in a row. And it was stopped by a team, I think, Notre Dame, coached by Richard Digger Phelps. Digger wrote that out for me.
Yes,
he wrote that. He sent that down here. So I'm using it. Digger, I used it just like you wrote it out for me.
And Enge makes 2 free throws, and they're finally in the scoring column. Very impressive Duke team. If they lack anything, it's size down on the low block when you look ahead to the ACC and the NCAA tournament. And of course, the ACC is having a down year. Everybody's aware of that.
Only 2 teams ranked in the top 25 in America in the latest poll.
Pump faking up, and good defense that time by Damien Wilkins. Damien running the floor on the left side. Out of bounds it goes.
You're right, Brent, when you talked about the ACC slipping a little bit. You had 6 teams this past week in the SEC ranked, 5 from the Big 12 and 3 from the Big 10, but only 2 out of the ACC.
Alley-oop in low, and Kenny Enge represents all the scoring for the Wolfpack. And folks, as you watch, the student body is down low here in the new building. You can see where they are, right behind the benches. You get some collegiate atmosphere down here, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful environment, and it's a beautiful arena. I love this place. It's great that they're allowing the kids to sit at courtside.
Battier. Boozer's first hoop. Carlos Boozer.
He had a big game in the first matchup, 24 points. Good footwork, very agile inside, and he really finalizes well. It's a must game for NC State. They got to give it their best shot. They got to play with a state of urgency. 5-second violation. Or a little push. They're going to push.
So we're going to take a timeout. It was against Jason Williams, 15:58. Checked into the game. He will be defending Wilkins on the inbounds pass. Mike Krzyzewski will keep a very close eye on him. He's not 100% physically, and they want to see what he's going to do here in the early going. Matt Christensen also off the Duke bench, basically a 7-man rotation. The defense has been stifling for Krzyzewski so far. Wilkins forcing up a miss, and Dunleavy handles it for the first time.
Dunleavy really feeling the effects, they think, possibly of the flu. He's got swollen glands as well. Hoping to get some minutes out of him today.
The pull-up J is on the mark from Nate James.
They got so much versatility. They can invert those 3 players when you talk Carawell, Battier, and James, and so much experience with them that the freshmen are able to blend in.
Finally getting to the inside, but short is Thornton again.
And Christensen with the rebound, and that's what they want out of him, be a space eater on the inside. Give him some minutes just so they can rest Boozer.
Battier steps out. Good outside, inside, big man.
He can go inside, outside, as you just said, Brant, with the best of them. He's a tremendous defensive player as well.
Carawell comes up firing the J. tap back? No, but there is a whistle. No basket. Basket is being waved off, I believe. I think did he say no shot out of bounds? Is that what I overheard? No, we're going to have, yep, play set from out of bounds. Exactly, no shot.
No shot. The foul took place prior to the shot, prior to the tip-in.
Knocked away and out of bounds by Thornton. And it was off Duke, so it'll go over to the Wolfpack.
Sloppy play by Duke in special situations. Usually they excel in those areas. As you look at concern, Mike Krzyzewski reloaded this year.
What do you think he would be concerned about right now, my friend?
Well, you're playing away from home. I know they've been very effective, but they know that everybody gives them their best hit. When they see that Duke uniform, everybody plays at another level.
Here comes the firing. Thornton on a runner. Tap back to him. Going to come up again. He is still 0 for the day. And it's Duke basketball.
Both clubs not very deep, and that's been really a problem for NC State in that losing streak, losing Kelly and Mr. Williams.
Clifford Crawford on the floor for Coach Sendek for the first time today. Christensen on a drive, and he is fouled.
Christensen taking the ball up strong, was starting earlier this year. Lost their first 2 games to Stanford and Connecticut. And there's the big guy. Look at him, Christensen, trying to get some playing time. Wants more minutes. He said, Coach, look, I can get to the rack. You talk about dominance of a league. If they win today, Duke, they win their 4th consecutive ACC regular season championship. Think about the quality of this league over the years. 4 in a row.
Christensen misses the free throw, and Cornelius Williams checks in. Marshall Williams out after undergoing knee surgery, as is Ron Kelly, who was pretty active in the pregame. Now, he was not dressed and shooting, but they're hopeful that both Marshall and Kelly will be back next Thursday.
Yeah, against Georgia Tech. Hey, by the way, we want to send nothing but the best for Bobby Cremins. He went 10 years to the NCAA. He had 3 ACC titles, Final 4 in 1990. Developed guys you love, Mark Price, Marbury, and Anderson. Bobby, we wish you nothing but the best. They're going to miss you at Georgia Tech.
One of the nicer men to come along. And, any sport that you want to name, I can't imagine any media person not having anything but high regards for Bobby Cremins and what he did down in Atlanta with Georgia Tech. Offensive foul here is called against Damien Wilkins.
He became a product of the monster we have created, the NCAA tournament. He spoiled everybody by winning and winning, as you see right here. Foul call, contact.
In his Final 4 appearance, I remember Kenny Anderson being whistled for a questionable foul when he was doing very well against that very good Vegas team. Here comes Carawell. Miss. And again, the whistle sounded underneath, and I believe it's an offensive foul.
A lot of contact as he takes it up to the goal, out of control. Boozer took that totally out of control, driving to the basket. If they're going to make a run, NC State, the guy that has to step up is Grundy. Grundy, who had 30 against Wake Forest, has been an unbelievable schneid. They have no shot to win unless he really starts stepping it up and put some points on the board.
Dick, at this point, they'd settle for anybody to step up. They're 1 of 10. 1 of 10 from the field.
Struggling for good shots as well.
Grundy, the 3. On cue, partner.
Oh, Mr. Grundy's the kind of guy that can put points on the board. Earlier this year, he was heading for ACC honors. But since February 2nd, it's been a nightmare.
Dunleavy's entry pass to Boozer, and he slips it out of bounds.
He overpassed the ball there. From out of Alaska, Mr. Boozer should have taken that right up to the goal. Come on, smile, Mike, smile. Grundy playing some point now. Louisville, Kentucky. There's Grundy
in. That's 5 quick ones.
That's a good sign for NC State. If they're going to have a shot, Grundy's got to be Grundy, not what he's been lately. I love this building. I love this environment.
Another turnover.
Duke is really getting a little bit rattled now on the offensive end. A chance for NC State to really get back in this game big time.
Here's the hot hand. Firing the 3. Not that time. 1 and out. Boozer with authority.
In that first matchup, Duke jumped out early big on NC State, and they got back to make that an unbelievable game.
A little bit tougher defense on the part of the Wolfpack right now, too. There's the entry pass to Boozer, trying to go on inside. Foul. He'll shoot a pair. The foul on Cornelius Williams.
I really enjoy watching Boozer play in a post. He has excellent post maneuverability. He really catches the ball well. He drops steps. Now watch him right here. He knows what he's going to do. He's one step ahead in catching the basketball, has good instincts around the post. Out of Alaska, and the Alaskan assassin last year, Trajan Langdon, now on the injury list for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Elton Brand, speaking of last year, Elton Brand, you mark it down right now, is going to be the Rookie of the Year in the NBA.
Oh, he has a great chance, certainly. He and I think Steve Francis, I think Lamar Odom's dropped down a little. And think about both guys would be back here in the ACC.
I think they'd be on the all-conference
wow.
team.
And that would elevate the conference. It runs in cycles. This conference is too proud and too good and has too much of a fan following and the coaches that they'll be back up on top.
One of two, and substitution now coming into the game for State. Archie Miller checks in.
He can shoot the ball out of Black Hawk, Pennsylvania, to home. Well, he comes from Beaver Falls, played at Black Hawk High School. Beaver Falls, one of the great quarterbacks of all time.
Joe Willie Namath.
Yes, sir, Alabama.
Now plays his golf down at the Loxahatchee Club down in Jupiter, Florida.
That was his brother on the sideline, Sean Miller, former Pittsburgh guard, now an assistant here.
Has to track it down.
Nice fake.
Good fake. Crawford, and then could not nail the open shot, but he put a good fake on it, didn't he?
Crawford's going to get a lot of minutes now, especially with Williams on the sideline with that knee injury.
Dunleavy tracks down.
One thing about Duke, they usually get excellent spacing.
Horvath on the floor. Number 3 comes up. Fires off a miss. Nick Horvath misses his first shot. We got some real bricks being thrown up at both ends.
Well, Thornton really struggling shooting the basketball. I love this guy. What a future he's got.
Baseline pass. Williams makes, and it's a beauty to Carawell.
He has great vision. In transition, he sees so well. He'll make my Super 7 diaper dandy team along with Jason Gardner from out of Arizona. Where do you see Gardner? What a freshman he is. Miller had back surgery last year, Brant, but he can shoot the rock.
Here he is. Snaps off a great pass to Damon Thornton.
Good two-man play. Thornton been struggling shooting the ball. Great eyes. Herb Sendik's got to like that. Herb did a great job at Miami of Ohio. Has great understanding of the game. Going through a little tough time now because he's got those injuries. You can't lose 2 players in your rotation and not be hurt.
Turn it over. Miller trying to get free, but Jason Williams will cut him off. Then he goes right by Jason beautifully. And a great block by Carawell. Grundy forced the wraparound, but battles for the loose ball. Good hustle by the Wolfpack. The whistle.
He's got a foul way out here. The basket will not count. Wave it off. Mike Wood waves it off. I tell you, you got to love Carawell and his energy on a defensive end. He just doesn't think offense. This kid plays on both sides. He's multi-dimensional. The best player in the ACC this year.
Duke leads at 18-11. Timeout in Raleigh. The Wolfpack howling a bit, and speaking about that, who will ever forget Albuquerque, New Mexico, one of the great championship games of all time, and there is Pam Valvano, the wife of the late Jim Valvano.
Oh, she's on cloud 9 right now. Her daughter Jamie had a beautiful baby. Jacob James, 8 pounds, 8 ounces. I know his grandfather would be mighty proud. And if that baby could have half the energy of Jimmy, of his grandfather, wow, he's something special.
Damien Wilkins ships the pass, and Battier, I believe, going to come up and Kenny Inge was the offensive player that he connected with.
There's the pass on the inside. Inch trying to take it up strong.
It was Christensen on the inside, wasn't it? It wasn't Battier in front.
Yeah, Christensen giving some good minutes here off that bench. This guy's got a lot of shake and bake to him, the little guy Miller.
Yeah. Thornton trying to get an inside game. Just can't find the shooting touch, but Inge puts it back and in.
Kenny Inge, an outstanding offensive rebounder. I mean, they can get up on a glass and attack the glass when you throw Thornton and in. Look at the intensity of Herb Sendick. Look at this here. Started 5-5 and 2 for an 8.
Battier double. The open man's James. Missing. Inge battling for the rebound.
I'll tell you one thing, Brent. North Carolina State has stepped it up in terms of aggressiveness as they really seem like an emotional team now versus the way they started this game. Ball goes to the deck. Everybody on the deck. Hustle, scrapping.
Dick, they need Damon Thornton, and he's only 1 of 7 so far.
There it is, 2 of 8. He must have heard you. Right down the gun of the defense. He's been playing well this year because he's been healthy, but he's gotten in foul trouble too much. They're back. I think we're going to have a battle. I think this is going to be a battle. This is not going to be blowout city. This crowd won't allow it to happen, Brent.
Battier, the open J.
What a year he's having. He and Carawell have really stepped up from options number 4 and 5 for Mike Krzyzewski last year to becoming number 1 and number 2.
I think he has 8 of their 20 points already in this game.
Plays so hard, has great vision, minister of defense, takes charges.
And Christensen on Thornton on the entry pass, and you wonder if Christensen can handle Thornton.
Probably not. They're just going to use him for limited minutes. Doesn't have the speed and quickness, has the physical contact. We take a look on the inside. Freeze it right here, freeze it. Right here. He's going to go right down the gut, and they're going to find him on the lane, and he's going to get the layup inside.
And during that stoppage, Casey Sanders checked in. Now he's 6'11", freshman from Tampa Prep, and he'll take a shot.
Well, he's got to get a little bit stronger physically. They think he's got a world of potential. He's got great attitude. He's got good quickness. He's just got to get stronger physically.
Battier off iron into Thornton's hands. Miller loses the handle, the dive, loose ball.
Oh, look at that.
State goes to the floor.
Wow. Is that
Both
hustle?
sides hustling.
Chuck Amato would like to have some of those guys, the new NC State football coach.
Yeah, it was an outstanding assistant down at Florida State. He takes over the football program. We've got a timeout in Raleigh. Trying to make it into the big dance, the NCAA tournament. A chance to wind up, you would think, with a 500 record, even if they lose this one today. But the way they battle back, don't count them out of this one, Dick.
There's a 2-3 matchup. You look at those standings, only 2 teams in the top 25. North Carolina, I believe, will join Maryland and Duke after this week. I think they'll win at home against Virginia, and I think they'll get back in. They have made a great comeback, Bill Guthridge's kids.
Williams the 3. Thornton out with the rebound. 80.
They got to go inside. They got to go inside.
Wilkins. And the whistle sounded. Over to Duke on the side after the violation.
The reason I feel they got to go inside, Casey Sanders doesn't have a lot of experience. Look at the remaining schedule. I mean, if they don't win those 3 games, if they were to lose today to get to 8-8, they don't deserve to be in the NCAA tournament. But they'll have a tough time with emotion and passion for Georgia Tech. That'll be the next home game for Bobby Cremens after his resignation.
Thornton trying to stop Battier, who went to the left hand, and then Thornton yanked the rebound.
He's a big-time rebounder, Brent. He can really flat-out rebound for it.
Inge and goaltending on Sanders. Score it for Inge.
Kenny Inge on the inside. No question about the goaltending. See, I think they got to take advantage of the little experience Sanders has and attack inside. As Kenny Inge came back from a knee injury earlier this year. This has been a club that's been on the verge of a breakthrough under Sendick, but they haven't been able to get that major win to put them up there for power.
James. This is the 3. Underneath is Sanders.
Nice agility by the big kid inside. Once he fills out that frame, he could become a heck of a player.
Loser. due to check backhand. The next dead ball.
It's got to help his confidence a little bit inside.
Thornton yanks it back down, up firing, and got it to fall anyway.
He's like a man inside. He's like a man. He says, I own the interior, Mr. Krzyzewski.
They're having a hard time controlling him underneath, and he has not gotten into serious foul trouble, which is what has plagued him here in the last 4 games, all of which North Carolina State lost.
They're doing a good job containing Carawell thus far early in the game.
Battier traveled.
Shane Battier lifted that pivot foot. Now watch Thornton on the inside. The first time he doesn't get the deuce, but he stays with it. The second effort, and he goes up strong. Look at that big, strong second effort.
Crawford checks into the game, and Thornton takes his first break.
And they had Ron Kelly in that last meeting at 17 points. He gave him strong 20 minutes. They've missed him in those 4 losses in a row.
Ball is turned over. They tried to get it to Wilkins down low, and Dunleavy back on the floor now for Duke from behind the back.
I'll give his kid credit. He's trying to give him what he can, but he's really under the weather, Dunleavy. Hey, Brent, with 4 losses in a row, the inside people have really hurt NC State. Without Kelly, teams have been averaging in the middle 22.5 from the 4 centers. Guys like Haywood and Baxter and Sunguyla.
Carawell forces one. Traveling underneath. Duke with a break. And kind of a quick whistle, Dick, I thought.
Yeah.
And Duke says, thank you very much. Carawell off the glass.
That was a big-time basket right there. You talk about an unbelievable effort. What a basket off the glass, hanging in the air by Carawell. That's what outstanding players do. They step up when your club is struggling.
James taking Grundy right now, and Haney brings it back on top. 4:47 to go here in the first half, and Duke has led it all the way, but one time they were up by 10. Grundy the baseline. Yes.
His confidence has got to be coming back. His confidence has got to be coming back, Brett.
Well, 7 points, Dick, and he'd scored only 5 in each of their last 2 games, so he has already surpassed that here in the first half against the Blue Devils.
And he's really stepping it up offensively, thinking shot. He's not playing shot. NC State, because of their effectiveness offensively, now stepped up their defense.
Great pass to Dunleavy.
Nice look by Carawell. He draws the double team, finds the diagonal man wide open, and Dunleavy with the finish. I know this will probably rank some people the wrong way, but if I had to vote for National Coach of the Year today, my choice is right on the sideline. They never get the accolades because people expect them to win. Mike Krzyzewski, for what he has done with this team after losing 4 guys for the first round of the NBA.
Traveling over to Duke. 3:47 left in the first half. Timeout.
Of the honors of the Coach of the Year awards, I would vote for him today as my guy, even though John Brady and Larry Eustachy and Bill Self have all done great jobs where they're at.
Exactly. And steal by the Wolfpack. Foul is called against James as Clifford Crawford rolls in.
Clifford Crawford in transition, getting some minutes. They're going to step in the passing lane. There's the deflection. Now Crawford wants to take it to the goal. He keeps hearing footsteps, and there's the contact. Your feelings on that? I mean, I respect you've been around basketball, football, and sports about guys like the Bobby Bowdens and the guys like the Krzyzewskis, the guys that win all the time. I remember Dean Smith. They just don't get the national recognition.
Normally, it's someone who takes a team from nowhere to somewhere who is always voted Coach of the Year regardless of the sport. Therefore, you have to consider Iowa State, Tulsa, LSU, and Tennessee, all wonderful coaching jobs this year. And at halftime, Georgia, Kentucky. Speaking of LSU against Arkansas, Big 12 battles. We'll hear from John Saunders on the AutoBuyATL.com halftime report.
Herb Sendek's got to be proud of the way the kids have battled back defensively.
Boozer, that's too easy against Thornton.
He is so effective inside. Once he touches the ball in deep, he really has an understanding of how to convert.
Dick, that is his best, I'm talking about Krzyzewski, appears to be his best inside matchup. Thornton is least effective against Boozer.
Well, Thornton's afraid to get in the foul trouble. Nice dish.
And Wilkins comes back with it. Goes 0 for 2 down low now. And he has struggled shooting here today. He hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, 21 against Wake Forest, and is normally an outstanding offensive rebounder.
Battier kicks it to Dunleavy. James to save it. Into Boozer, and there it is, up over Thornton with the left hand. A warrior to be, Carlos Boozer.
He is so unique in the inside, can utilize either hand. When he stepped up and came back from that broken foot, he gave them inside presence, and they elevated themselves as a team.
Makes a difference with this team, there's no question.
If you're going to beat Duke, you're going to have to play well. They're not going to just roll in here where they're not going to be focused, and that is why I respect Coach K. His kids always play hard.
Grundy kicks to Crawford. 5 on the shot, the block by Carawell.
Chris Carawell, oh, he's up with a magical play. Now look, he's going to handle the ball on the perimeter and play like a point guard. He is really playing their point now with Jason Williams out of the lineup. That is versatility, my friends. And take a look at these two on the exterior. You talk about winners. You talk about two guys who understand the art of winning, Battier and Carawell. Just playing a little two-man game.
Carawell, oh no, but he was fouled.
Little two-man game. They said simply get out of the way and let us play.
Tomorrow we've got some fine regional action coming. Many of you will see John Chaney's Temple Owls take on Kenyon Martin and the top-ranked team in the nation, Cincinnati. The rest of you will see Oklahoma go against Kansas. ABC's NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber tomorrow live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. We should have some fun over in Cincinnati.
Oh, I can't wait to go down there. You see Temple for right now is so hot since they got Pepe Sanchez back. John Chaney, you talk about Hall of Famers, belongs in the Hall of Fame. And you know, Cincinnati, they got Mr. Martin inside. My choice is National Player of the Year. But the one thing about Temple, they will not be intimidated. They beat them last year in the NCAA tournament. They have physical presence inside. In Sanchez, they have a guard that understands the complexity of the system of John Chaney.
Dick, if we can take an overview on this game, Duke jumped out early, and then the Wolfpack battled back in. But now it appears as though Duke is taking control of this game again, and they're up by 10.
And the reason they really have gotten great efforts late from Battier and Carawell.
Nice play by Inge on the wraparound.
Nice backdoor cut. Kenny Inge with the reverse layup. Psychologically, we often talk about how you got to get in single digits to get a little momentum.
10 points for Inge here, Dick, in the first half.
They're going to spread the court now, take some time off the clock, look for the high percentage shot with each possession. Look at Carawell.
The Wolfpack just need to be patient here. They know they're going to get it back because the shot clock and the game clock are not synced up. Battier fires a shot, and now Wolfpack.
You know what's really interesting, Brent? The last two possessions, who shot the basketball? Carawell, Battier.
Right.
Understanding who your strength is.
Exactly. You learn the game when you play for somebody like Krzyzewski. There's no question about that.
They understand the definition of a good shot.
And again, Duke is going to get it back for the last few seconds of the first half here.
Battier.
With 4 on the shot, they get it to Grundy and 1.
Getting a strong first half performance out of Anthony Grundy, and that's a positive. That's a positive for Herb Sendek and all the Wolfpack rooters. Gonna watch Grundy on the interior with the catch. Here he is catching the ball inside. Nice head fake. Oh, Mr. Dunleavy left something on the floor. Oh, great head fake. I tell you, it's hard to believe coming here that NC State has not been in the Big Dance since 1991.
Yeah, it is hard to believe.
Les Robinson, who's now on a selection committee, the AD, coached that team. Oh, Timber
Back in as in he goes to work again.
What a break that is.
At the no, won't count. Dunleavy did not get it off. A spirited rally by NC State in the closing moments of this game. After being in danger of being crushed early, the Wolfpack right in this one.
NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza. And Beck's, a beer apart. We'll return with the AutoVitel.com halftime report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
With Duke leading North Carolina State by a score of 34 to 28. And Dick, I'm surprised that you're not coming down from the ceiling down here to land. That was some performance out in Las Vegas.
Elvis has not left the building. But I'll tell you something here, Brad. These are the kind of games that make or break your year. If you're, for example, now NC State, forget about RPI ratings. Forget about all that schedule strength. Forget about all the talk on TV. Just beat Duke on your home floor, and you solve a lot of the problems, and you get yourself a chance for the big NCAA tournament for the first time since 1991 when Corciani and Moreau played for Les Robinson in the senior year of both guys.
Well, here are the runs that we've had in the first 6 minutes. Duke built a 15-4 lead. Then over the next 8 minutes, 14-7 it was State, and the last 6 minutes of the first half, 12-10 Blue Devils. So that sets the stage here. Now, the Wolfpack, Dick, will be looking for Wilkins and Ganey to do something offensively. They're 0 for 5 in the first half.
Yeah, they really didn't come out and play the game they're capable of, but Ganey's a veteran player. Played brilliantly as a freshman to lead NC State to the finals of the ACC tournament when they shocked everyone.
Thornton comes with the first shot of the second half. The putback is not there, and a foul called underneath against Duke. Now, we take a look at the strengths and weaknesses here, and we take it the big picture. This will show you what they're up against here.
Well, there's the pros and here's the cons. Certainly the pros are the fact that they're 15-8 and a 10-1 non-conference, but they haven't beaten a lot of quality teams. Only 1-7 on the road and 5-7 in the ACC. Are they in or are they out, Mr. Musburger?
As of right now,
they're
they
out.
may be in. That back in.
They are out if you voted today. But unfortunately, fortunately for NC State, the vote is not today. By the end of the day, they can get back in.
Exactly. Wilkins, Dick, with his first points, and Jason Williams answers with a 3. Net advantage +1 Blue Devils.
He's a lethal weapon. I remember the lethal weapons playing for Bobby Cremins in '90 when they went to the Final Four. Oliver and Anderson and Dennis Scott. Man-to-man defense by Duke. Nothing fancy on the defensive end. Pressure the ball, deny the post entry.
There's Ganey trying to penetrate. He's cut off. Now they get it into Thornton. Boozer's the defender. Quick double team for the weak side by Battier. Tap. Carawell comes out. Here comes Jason. Coming to the rack, baby. Tap back, good, and foul.
Carlos Boozer trailing the play with the offensive rebound after Mr. Williams took it to the rack. Former West Point cadet, Coach K. Now look at nice shake and bake. He froze the defensive player. And there is Boozer with the foul. It was great to hear our buddies John Saunders and Dicker talk about Bobby Cremins. And I just want to add a little PS to it. He became a victim of his success. His success created a problem. He spoiled everyone. And the monster that the NCAA tournament is really caused him the ultimate end down at Georgia Tech. It's sad to see that happen.
Turn it over.
We live in a situation now in coaching with the pressures. What have you done for me today?
Dick, in fairness, it's been 4 years. Okay, I just want to say that this sports is a bottom line business and always going to be.
But you know, they won the ACC regular season in '96 and had Marbury as a freshman. He stays in school. Things a little bit changed. Where were they when he arrived? Think about that, 1-17.
Nobody is quarreling with the fact that he did a wonderful job down there in putting the program together, and he's a quality person. Steal by the Wolfpack. Grundy kicks it over to the open man. Ganey, no, still scoreless. Grundy has it taken away, and now the run out. Here comes James. No, tap, no. Rebound, Grundy.
This crowd is dying to break loose, Brent. And they got to make something happen here at NC State to get the crowd on their side. They were sailing along at 15-4, and then the 2 injuries, and I can't emphasize that enough. You lose 2 quality guys who both were number 1 and 2 in scoring in that 92-88 overtime game, Kelly and Williams, and that's got to hurt your rotation.
Carawell dumps it off to Boozer underneath.
They know where to dump it off. Once Boozer catches the ball inside, you just put the deuce in your book, Mr. Musburger. He's automatic inside.
Going to have a timeout. 17:42 left here in regulation. Duke's lead is back to 12. It's an impressive team when they get on one of these runs, and it's all triggered by their defense.
And they take a look here at the wounded Wolfpack, as it indicates there. Kelly and Williams, both guys are supposed to be back Thursday against Georgia Tech, but they really could use them here today. Unfortunately, they're not ready as we look at them on the sideline. Mr. Williams.
Well, a reminder that tomorrow you'll see some of America's finest skaters in a one-of-a-kind ABC sports event performing only for the audience and themselves. No rules, no judges, just skating. It is the Chevrolet Skating Spectacular. Tomorrow, 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on ABC. Lorraine Vitale will be in that audience.
I know one thing. You look at Herb Sendek on that sideline. He has certainly the support of his AD, Les Robinson. But I know one other thing. That Chancellor Fox is quick with the trigger. She is quick with the trigger with department heads, football coaches. She came out of the way of Texas. Hey, that's her right. She's in charge.
James kicks it inside to Carawell, who comes right through the paint, and that's 10 points for Carawell.
What a great job of utilizing the curl move, coming off the little screen inside, curling in the lane. I just love Carawell and Battier. I can watch them play all day because they do all the things coaches dream of players doing.
Wilkins 3, in and out. Thornton hustles back for it. This will be Gainey. Dick, we're on that cusp again where Duke appears to be about ready to blow him out.
Danger time. Next 4 minutes will tell us whether we have a game or we have a blowout. They have to go in a little spurt, NC State.
Inge perfect in the first half. They need to get him going again here in the second half. Handling the ball right now. Comes up with a J, his first miss of the game. Into Williams' hands.
Shot a line drive. Look at the strength of Williams to the basket.
To the rack and a blocking foul call.
Oh, they got a charge. They called the charge on a baseline. He called the block out here. He called the block.
Opinion. No question.
The trail official called the block. We're going to watch Carawell as he comes across this little screen move. Freeze it right here. Freeze it. See, right in here. He's going to come into the lane. Great job of Carawell catching right into the lane. The baseline official called a charge. The official up on top called a block.
And Mike has levied the official no, who overruled it, that he did not appreciate that.
Well, the guy on the bottom said I had it first. That takes precedent.
Miller on the floor for the Wolfpack. Thornton's runner. Yes, got a nice friendly roll.
What's your feelings about this building, Mr. Musburger?
I like it very much. You know, the Hurricanes, the Carolina Hurricanes, also play hockey in this building, Dick, and I think it's a great multi-purpose, and I'm impressed with the crowd here. They've sold out for all the Wolfpack games.
Nice backdoor cut.
Yeah, beautiful cut, and Jason Williams puts it away. That's 8 for Jason.
There's the art of moving without the basketball. Hey, John Saunders, a big hockey guy. He'll be so proud of me. I met Mario Lemieux. I talked to Wayne Gretzky. I even know those guys are big hockey stars.
What are you hanging around with has-beens?
Oh, wow. I'm trying to learn red line, blue line, and green line. I want you to teach me that hockey game.
Here's Miller. Back to Thornton. Thornton drives and misses it, but here's Inge underneath. Lost the handle. Underneath Thornton.
Thornton and Inge are battling and battling on the inside, but if they're going to really get back in this game, they're going to have to make some threes. They got to make some threes from the perimeter. Miller and Grundy are going to have to knock some down from the exterior.
Inge knocks the ball out of bounds. Dunleavy and Christensen back on the floor for Krzyzewski. We're going to take a break. 14:59 remaining. Duke leads at 46-34.
NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by AutoTrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet. And 7-Up in your local 7-Up bottler. Make 7-Up yours.
The lead is a dozen. And Duke with the basketball. Dunleavy. Williams checked in for the Wolfpack during the timeout. And the foul is against the Wolfpack on Clifford Crawford.
Well, they rotated into a zone defensively. We're having a very difficult time. Herb Sendik's club trying to defend Duke with their motion offensively, trying to really do a job out of their man-to-man defense, and they struggle. And now they're going to go to the zone, the 2-3 matchup. The one danger there, Duke can shoot the basketball from the wings and the perimeter. Trying to get the gaps and seams to that 2-3. Right by the foul line, it's wide open. Slide somebody into the foul line area. It's wide open. There's a big hole.
James up firing, and he is fouled, and I'm not sure about that one.
Well, that one's maybe a little makeup for the one on the baseline. Look at Herb Sendek. Look at the fire in Herb's eyes. 3.96 student at Carnegie Mellon, industrial management major. Take a look right here. Is there contact? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. Very, very soft. Little touchy right there.
James works his way to the free throw line. There was contact on his right hand. I got a question for you. Georgia Tech. Is John Calipari going to be the next coach of the Rambling Wreck?
Georgia Tech's Mr. Calipari said related to that job to our guy Andy Katz that he's not interested. I don't believe it right now, but I don't know if he is the kind of guy that Mr. Brain would want, the athletic director. I was told today by Jerry Lindquist, the writer from out here in Virginia area, is down here to cover Virginia, and he told me he didn't think that Dave Brain, the AD, would go for Calipari as his choice.
Dave is a great fly fisherman. Has a little cabin out in Montana that he visits during the summer. Nice man.
Never been to Montana, never been to the Dakotas.
And obviously you don't fish much because it's too quiet for you.
I live in Florida. I never.
It's Miller. Yes, the three.
They need the three. We talked about the three. Oh, yes, sir. He's fishing for some threes, baby. I used to fish for some goldies. That's the only fish I ever caught is a little goldie. Those threes will rejuvenate you. There's the zone. Trying to change the complexion, take away that motion game.
Christensen. Good rebound by Battier.
Battier's a lot stronger physically than what he looks and his body presents. Came out of Detroit Country Day where Chris Webber played and was an outstanding player.
Hey, Chris Webber is finally playing like he should have years ago.
Well, he looks happy. He looks happy.
Why not? Jason Williams defeated to him out in Sacramento. Here's Miller over to the corner, and a bad turnover by Grundy.
I really like Miller. Miller makes things happen when he's on the floor.
It's a dozen turnovers for Sendik's team, and you can see they're not shooting well either here on our Beck storyline. Duke, though, shooting 53%, and 8 of Mike Krzyzewski's players had scored here today.
I'm going to send my resume down to Georgia Tech. What the heck? I haven't lost a game in 21 years on TV. I'm undefeated.
Williams. Yes, the three.
That's why it's tough to zone them. It's very difficult because they can spot up in different areas of the floor. With Battier on one wing, Jason Williams, Dunleavy, they all can flat out shoot the rock.
Wilkins on the drive.
He has struggled today, the freshman. He has really struggled. Came in highly rated, has had a solid year.
Battier turned it over again with that step.
You see so many freshmen really dominating and playing brilliantly right now. You go to Arizona, backcourt of Arenas and Jason Gardner. We'll have a backcourt tomorrow, freshman backcourt. Satterfield and DeMar Johnson.
Boy, Satterfield played well last week.
Oh, he played brilliantly, but he'll be tested against that 2-3 matchup with John Chaney. It's hard to believe. I was doing research for the game. Cincinnati had 18 points last year at halftime against Temple.
When they were knocked out in the tournament, is that
yes,
right?
sir. In Boston, the second round of the East Region.
Here's Thornton. Twisting back to the middle, and that allowed Battier. I checked that. That was Boozer who got a hand on.
As soon as you whirl and try to spin dribble, they rotate so well, Duke. See, there's the 2-3. You want to attack them, but don't want to pull up your dribble. Jason Williams has really starting to learn and understand big time what a point guard is supposed to do. They've had so many great ones at Duke.
Carawell wanted to get it to Boozer, and now he picks up the loose basketball. Knocked out of bounds. So we'll take a break here. 11:51 to go. Duke in command over Sendik's Wolfpack, 51-37. You were away. Some of the football signees out. That's a prospective nose guard.
Checkamato's getting some good ones. A little dancing. Unfortunately, the basketball team's not dancing right now.
Battier on the drive for the Blue Devils. And Dick, they're going to blow them away if they don't come up with some offense in a hurry here.
Battier with that clear out, that isolation, so strong to the basket. It's amazing when you look at Duke's numbers. They have not lost a road game in the last 20. 17 in a row in the ACC on the road. They had that amazing win streak stopped by Maryland and Gary Williams' club at home.
It all starts with this defense. It is suffocating.
They play so aggressively. It starts with the jersey, the word Duke, the pride that it brings, the passion and love they play with.
Crawford off balance on the shot. It was all Duke underneath the glass.
And it starts with the man on the sideline who teaches that back passion. Look at the balance scoring. Balance, baby. They spread the rock. You can't defend any one individual. And they have that great chemistry, Brent, where they love playing with one another. Connecticut had that great chemistry last year.
You know, the one thing, though, Dick, I'm not sure that Duke has the answer to Kenyon Martin as I sit here and watch it. We'll see Kenyon tomorrow, of course, with Cincinnati, and last week against DePaul. I'm just not sure that they aren't going to miss that size down in the low block.
I'm not sure that there's anybody that has an answer for Kenyon Martin. Maybe Temple tomorrow. I was just going to ask you, and you beat me to the punch. Take your pick, Cincinnati or Duke. Come on now. Don't be a politician. There's no Bush. There's no McCain. You look in the camera, and you pick. Who do you got?
Bearcats. I'm sorry. I love Duke. Everybody knows that.
Hey, Cameron Crazies.
But I love Cincinnati.
I want the Cameron Crazies to remember that when you arrived there for the Duke-Carolina game.
What a setup. What a setup. You knew I'd be honest. On a spinner inside. It falls for Grundy.
Grundy with the drive. I think Mike Krzyzewski would agree right now as well. Physically inside. Boozer would have to have a big game.
It would be a heck of a matchup, though, now that I think about it.
Yes, it would be. The way that they attack Duke, they'll never back down. The team that I think in the NCAA tournament could win it all.
Stanford.
Michigan State.
Oh, you like Michigan State? I like Stanford.
I like Michigan State.
There's a possibility out west. Gainey, friendly roll.
Gainey with that dribble penetration.
His first field goal of the game.
They have a certain amount of toughness, Michigan State, and I think you need that.
Well coached.
Nice pass. Oh, he was trying to make the pass before he caught the ball. Carawell was trying to make the pass.
Williams misfires, had the open look at it. Wolfpack will try to put together a little run, get back in. Inge. State ball.
NC State is really putting their backs against the wall. If the NIT is not what they want, they got 3 games coming up. They should win when you look on paper. Clemson, Florida State, and Georgia Tech. And then I think they'd even have to go a step further and win a game in the NCAA tournament, in the ACC tournament.
Dick, I mentioned Stanford. What's their guard play like out there? I'd like their big men down low for sure.
They got a kid, Casey Jacobson, off the bench now and starts sometimes, but off the bench, a great scorer. They got a kid named Mosley who can shoot the ball as well. They got some very good perimeter people.
Turn it over, and here comes Christensen, and that's an offensive foul.
The guy was running the court, trying to get on the board. Mike Montgomery's built a special program out in Stanford, and here's the charge. Defense rotated over right in front. Beat the offensive player to the spot. One thing about Christensen, he's got 3 fouls, but he gave him a few minutes where they were able to arrest Loser.
Miller. Crawford. Underneath Wilkins. Yes.
And that's what he does well. Offensively, he rebounds exceptionally well. Crawford made a nice move to the goal, just didn't convert. Had 12.
Great steal. Crawford.
He plays hard.
Kicks it to Miller.
Make the 3.
Grundy, yes.
Needed that trifecta. That can give you that lift. That can give you Uncle Mo. Oh, these Wolfpack fans want something to happen. Trying to scramble and press right now. very dangerous against Duke because they all pass the ball so well.
Carawell back to the left hand, fouled. He'll shoot a pair.
He's upset with himself. He should have converted that. He should have made it with his left hand. He changed direction to the left, but then he put it back to the right. Take a look right here. Here he is, beat him to the goal. He's angry at himself. He had the layup. You got to use the left hand, Mr. Carawell. Didn't have the angle for the right hand. You know, I think about it as I look at the banners up there, 74 and 83. Tom Burleson is in the house right now, the 7-footer, who played with the best small forward ever in college basketball, David the Skywalker Thompson.
Agree with that.
And then 83, our guy, Jimmy V. And if I could just simply say to the people out here, his brother Nick heads the V Foundation. His daughters work for the V Foundation. They've dedicated their lives to trying to beat cancer after watching what Jimmy went through. If anybody out there knows somebody they love and is in pain, battling that disease, help them in the quest to their goal and call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. 1-800-4-JIMMY-V.
And a reminder that tomorrow we'll bring you regional basketball action. Some of you are going to see the Temple Owls take on Kenyon Martin in Cincinnati, or Oklahoma against Kansas. ABC's NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber. Tomorrow live at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Open man Wilkins underneath, and the Wolfpack rallying here at the 8-minute mark.
They're playing with a state of urgency. I think good decision, go to the traps. Try to get a little scrapping and floor. The crowd is into it. They're alive. Got to stop right here. They need a stop.
Williams, and they get it. It was Grundy and a foul by Christensen at an inappropriate time.
I think we're going to see ourselves a little interesting finish here, Mr. Musburger, and I think Mike even knows it. And I credit this crowd. This crowd wouldn't let them get blown out.
Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Forward with John Saunders. Well, Duke went up by 16, their biggest lead of the game, and since then the Wolfpack has outscored them 9-2, and they're trying to inch even closer, down 57-48.
This little guy's made things happen. Little Archie Miller gives him a little spark, a lot of enthusiasm, good ball handler.
Grundy short.
Takes a lot of bad shots. That's where he's struggling right now mentally. That possession was big, and they got to get a shot. They're really putting a lot of pressure on their defense now. They need a real big-time stop.
The money man hits a three.
I'll tell you, is he big? That's why he's a PTPer, and that's why he's the player of the year in the ACC. Every time his club is on the ropes, he steps up to the challenge. Chris Carawell, former teammate of Lauren Woods out of St. Louis and Cardinal Ritter High School.
And the lead goes back to 12. Miller fires a three, in and out, and into the hands of Jason Williams.
Last two possessions coming up empty. Really hurts. Execution, execution. Trademark of Duke basketball. Taking time off the clock.
Carawell over the top.
Why not? Stepping up big. Chris Carawell. Oh, it's so special when you have players like that, Brent, who can make the big plays.
17 points for him.
Just think about what he did. His club is struggling. He hits two big baskets.
Miller with a good fake, but Williams switched over on him quickly. Great defensive rotation by the Blue Devils. Keeney one-on-one with Carawell. Wrong man to try that with. They got to kick it back outside. Now Thornton underneath Grundy. An easy two.
Good offensive rebound by Grundy. They got to go to full court traps and try to make something happen. Very difficult against Duke, the way they handle the basketball. So versatile. They got so many handlers.
98, it quickly helped. Dunn leaving. Inside move. And there's just no way of stopping him either. 16 points.
Carlos Boozer so effective down in the low post. Herb Sendik's club's now in big-time trouble, Mr. Musburger. Big-time trouble. got to start thinking about winning those 3 games in a row against Florida State, Clemson, and Georgia Tech.
Carawell fouled.
Last time a team 8-8 in the conference didn't get a bid was Georgia Tech in 1994.
Is that the time when they decided also not to go to the NIT then?
I believe it was, and it also shows you that really if you can get to the 8-8 mark when you're in one of the mega conferences, you got a chance.
But how much are they hurt, Dick, by the fact that the ACC is down this year?
I think we're hurt some big time, and I read some quotes from Billy Packer, who I agree with. Their preseason schedule does not help them. They got 1 quality win against Purdue on the road, but all those other W's, when you look at the RPI rankings, whether you believe in them or not, they become a factor.
Duke will milk the shot clock.
I'm just awed by the numbers that Mike Krzyzewski's kids are posting. When you look about winning on a road in college basketball, going for their 21st in a row. Last one to beat them on a road, North Carolina. Jamison and Carter, February 8th, 1998. That was a blowout.
This will be their 18th straight on the road as Battier knocks it down at the buzzer. 15 for Battier.
It's incredible, Battier and Carawell. Take a look at his domination. That is just incredible. 62 in a row against non-ranked teams. The last one to beat them was Michigan.
Thornton fouled by Battier.
They have totally dominated the ACC over the last 4 years. They'll be going for their 4th consecutive today. A share of the ACC regular season championship. And Battier told me before the game, he said, we are a program about championships. He also was quoted with that in the paper. I was teasing him. I said, I like that quote. He said, whether it's an ACC tournament, NCAA regionals, we're about championships. John Brady and LSU, I just saw they beat Arkansas, having a great year. A kid by the name of Taurus Bright doesn't get enough publicity, and John Brady's going to get some votes for Coach of the Year nationally.
Done a fine job, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. So is Larry Eustachy down there at Iowa State. Kid in Jamal Tinsley, probably the newcomer of the year in the Big 12. Pfizer is a sensational player.
Good job, Shane.
Clifford Crawford's number 30.
NC State with such a proud tradition. It's so hard to believe. We were talking off the year, Drew Esikoff, Mark Loomis, our producer and director, and yourself. We couldn't believe that they haven't been in the NCAA dance since 1991. When you think about the expansion to 64 teams.
Dunleavy's 3, no. You know, he has struggled. He has not been physically well here today.
Well, we were told that he was really struggling physically.
But he's a fine youngster with a great future ahead of him. Timeout.
NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Payne Weber. Thank you, Payne Weber. And Beck's, a beer apart.
66-52. Duke with the lead. 3:57 to go in regulation. Grundy, the leading scorer for the Wolfpack. But look at the main men for the Blue Devils. Carawell, Boozer, and Battier.
Not a bad baseline. I'll tell you, those 3 guys can put points on the board quickly, and Carawell's so versatile, plays on the perimeter as well. He's multi-dimensional. Certainly one of my Super 7 All-Americans that I'm picking.
Misfiring, and Dunleavy going down hard. I believe Inge. Yes, Inge picks up the first one.
You know, body language tells a lot about players, and you can see the body language right now struggling for NC State.
Williams against the pressure.
Herb Sedmick's got a tough job on his hands trying to regroup this club after losing 5 in a row.
Loose. Wolfpack have it. Wilkins 3. Grundy coming up.
Nice effort right there by Grundy. Good, solid effort on the inside. Miller did a good job making the extra pass, but Wilkins didn't knock down the open shot.
Remember, it was a frantic comeback in game 1 in the Cameron that forced it into overtime, and the Wolfpack trying to come up with another one of those.
They were down 5.
Remarkable rallies.
5 in that game with 14 seconds on the clock. If I wasn't there to see it, I wouldn't believe it.
Well, Chris Carawell scored a career-high 30 points in that game to give Duke a 75-74 lead with that field goal. Now, Gainey called a timeout that North Carolina State didn't have. Technical, Duke up by 5, 3.3 seconds left. Gainey missing a free throw. Marshall Williams scores to tie it. Mike can't believe it, but in overtime, Duke was too tough, and they won it 92-88. Now it is time for our Payne Weber Senior of the Week. Dick Vitale mentioned him. He is Mark Madsen from out of Stanford. Selected for his contributions on and off the court, outstanding player, but he also earned Pac-10 all-academic honors his sophomore and junior years, had a 3.2 GPA as an econ major, and Payne Weber donates $1,000 to the Senior of the Week Scholarship Fund in the name of Cardinal Senior Mark Mad Dog Madsen.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite players, gives everything he has, plays so hard, and I'll never forget Madsen. To show you what he is academically, I'm with Howard Garfinkel, Super Garf in New York at the Marriott Hotel after the NIT, and guess what he's doing? He is sitting in the restaurant in the back corner at 10:30 at night after the game. Instead of celebrating, he's doing a term paper with his computer. I mean, I said to him, you're supposed to be in New York City celebrating. He said, no, academics count first.
You sure it was a term paper?
It was a term paper, okay. No doubt about it.
Hey, my friend, who's the top-ranked high school senior in the country?
Oh, that's really tough to tell right now. I haven't seen a lot of the kids. I'll see them. In fact, to this building, I'm coming back here for the Magic Round Ball Classic featuring the best high school players in the nation. But I know one thing.
There was one from a year ago. That is Wilkins taking the alley-oop pass and converting.
St. John's and certainly Seton Hall have cleaned up big time in the early recruiting. Tommy Amica and Mr. Jarvis. They say Eddie Griffin might be the best in the country, going to Seton Hall, 6'9" from out of Philadelphia.
Tommy Amica doing an outstanding job. He, too, is a candidate for Coach of the Year.
Yes, he is. He's done a great job. Kelvin Sampson's a name I heard big time today that maybe they would love to have at Georgia Tech, or what a choice he would do.
Great snap pass, and there's that man again, Carawell.
And they're spreading the court, moving without the basketball. There'll be so many candidates for that job, and Atlanta being a great city, and what Bobby started down there, and being in the ACC. I mean, they're going to have no shortage of candidates.
Grundy. The one place I would not want to go is where North Carolina State is headed to play Georgia Tech. And I believe it is Tech's first game, isn't it, Dick?
Yes, it is.
Since the announcement by Bobby Cremon.
Well, at home, yes,
that could be a very emotional night down there. That is not an easy assignment for the Wolfpack. And a reminder, we got more regional college action coming your way. You're either going to see a Big East matchup. Miami takes on UConn, and a Pac-10 battle between UCLA and Arizona out west. ABC's NCAA basketball presented by Payne Weber next live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com.
What has happened to UCLA after the Jerron Rush situation? The team just fell apart totally, and I really believe situations like that got to affect your chemistry. I mean, they have been an absolute disaster this year, and it looks like they most likely will not be in the NCAA tournament, and no one would have projected that earlier when you looked at the names they had in that lineup. You had Zoric and Moeso and all the players, Watson, and big-time high school stars, but they just have not been able to get that natural blend that's needed to win.
With a three-point shot, 2:10 to go, there's still time here for the Wolfpack to stage another remarkable comeback.
They haven't been able to come with the defensive stop. In that first matchup, they were able, and that's how they got back in the game. Duke's been able to get too many easy baskets, Brent.
Levy. Massive charge. There's the turnover at the 1:55 mark. This, Dick, is an all-important trip. Cut it down under 10 now. The crowd will come alive here in Raleigh and help carry you the rest of the way.
There's Dunleavy now trying to make the turn. Grundy beats him to the spot. Good defensive effort by Grundy. Remember, they were down 5 with 14 ticks. 5 with 14 ticks. And sent it to OT. They thought they won the game, and I think the OT was anticlimactic. And that's why Duke just pulled away in overtime.
State needs to hurry on here. Seconds are precious.
And here's Carawell playing against Grundy. Tries to take a
Grundy to the rack. Yes, he's going to get the roll.
Good move by Grundy, beating Carawell.
State is on a 10-2 run to cut this to 8. 68-60 with a 10-2 spurt.
Well, Herb Sendik's got to like the fact that his kids haven't thrown in a towel. They've been scrapping to try and get back in this game.
And this crowd very much with it also against pressure.
Got to step to the ball. Shane Battier did not step to the basketball. It's probably going to get down to free throw shooting. And Duke's a very good free throw shooting team.
And that's a foul, I believe, against State off the ball. Yep. It's against Gainey.
Mike Wood with the call. Entrepreneur, solid businessman as well as a zebra.
Here comes Jason.
He'll back it out. He'll back it out. He'll back it out. See, earlier this year he would have made the play to the basket and would have probably turned the ball over. That's developing the maturity of a point guard. He's slapping though out front with Crawford. Managing the clock. Very important for young kids if you're watching. Step to the basketball. Don't wait for the ball to come to you.
Carawell, yes again.
Just a simple isolation. Get into a one-on-one. Put the ball in the hands of your best option.
Certainly showing you why he's the leading candidate for Player of the Year in ACC, as well as, I think, National Player of the Year honors against the likes of Kenyon Martin. I think that Carawell, he just steps up so often at big moments, defensively as well as right here offensively.
There he is in a little isolation with the conversion. You got a scoop if he doesn't win ACC Player of the Year. I'll tell you, my friends, a scoop. But I think it'll be very difficult to deny Kenyon Martin for what he has done this year as such a dominating inside player. And he is such the catalyst for that Cincinnati team. And as long as they stay up on top, he'll win all the awards. I really believe that, Brent. He's going to run away, I think, with all the awards. And there's my choice as National Coach of the Year. Right here, Mike Krzyzewski. The job he has done this year, where a lot of guys thought it was going to be rebuilding time after going 0-2. He's only lost one game since then, and he's doing it with a complete different look after losing Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon, Corey Maggette, William Avery, Chris Burgess. Most guys, if they lose one guy at that
Can you
level,
imagine this team with Elton Brand pitching?
I don't even think about it. It'd be frightening. I mean, think about frightening. I mean, if Burgess would have stayed to give a little bit more inside presence. Transfer to Utah.
That's the only big question you've got about these guys when they get to the tournament. I mean, Jason Williams doesn't play like a freshman to me. I mean, he's such a talented point guard as they scramble over in front of the bench.
Very strong physically. Last time we've seen freshmen in the Final Four, Jalen Rose and Jimmy King for Michigan, and prior to that, 1980, Michael Houghton and the super quick Rod Forster for UCLA as backcourts, as tandems, freshmen.
So with 49.7 seconds remaining, and Duke leading the Wolfpack 70-62. This would be the 5th straight loss for State in the ACC. But consider this, folks. Duke would run the longest road winning streak in ACC history to 18.
Wow. 21 overall on the road. They like the road. Mike Krzyzewski said we unite as a team. We eat together. We get to know each other. And the beat goes on because next year they get another super player, Chris Duhon from Louisiana. You remember that name. Everybody rates him as one of the premier young players in high school basketball, who's going to be a special player in a Duke uniform. Just what they need, more talent.
The Duhons all used to be football players. Battier.
It was a defensive back, wasn't it, in the NFL? I think.
Absolutely. Running back.
I'll tell you one thing, as you look at Herb Sendek on the side of Miami of Ohio, he spun that major win when he was coaching there, and they beat Arizona, who was seeded very high. Herb is a brilliant tactician, has great understanding of the game. But at this level, you need people, you need personnel. And right now, they're a little short-handed with Kelly and Williams out of the lineup in their rotation. See, I think Virginia's going to get an NCAA bid for their 4th. And the only way it's going to happen for NC State, they're going to have to really go on a little run now to win like 4 in a row, and maybe sneak in a 5th. But it's going to be very tough to get 5 out of the ACC right now.
Here are the standings. Duke, Maryland, and North Carolina pencil them in. I certainly agree with Dick that Virginia's going in, and it's that 5th spot that is going to be questioned.
I'll tell you one thing, North Carolina's getting better and better and better. You know, they're going to win their 4th championship in a row in the ACC if they hold on and win here. And Carawell will be the first player that can really celebrate that. Our buddy Brad Daugherty played in 82, and there in the 80, actually he didn't play in 82, he came a little bit later. But North Carolina had won 4 in a row. He was part of several of those, but no one else other than Carawell has ever played on 4. We'll see Mr. Daugherty down in Cincinnati.
Miller sits. Crawford steps back on the floor. Damien Wilkins with only 9 points.
His uncle was something else. And his dad was a solid NBA player, Gerald, shooting the ball.
Absolutely.
But Dominique was in another world. You talk about a high riser.
Dreaming of what happened in Cameron.
There it is.
They get it back.
There's the steal.
Grundy.
He gets it. Can it happen again?
38 seconds to go, and still the Wolfpack won't quit.
They will fold the 10, and I'll guarantee he's reminding them, as Mr. Grundy's pictures there, he said, hey guys, we were down 5 with 14 seconds, and we were on the road. We were at Cameron. Maybe we can make it happen here. There's the steal. Duke getting a little sloppy. North Carolina State stepping it up, and Grundy converting. Grundy's played fairly well here. It's Grundy now splitting the defense. Little finger roll. The quick timeout. Is it too late? Is it too late?
That's State's last. Duke with a pair of timeouts remaining.
They should have never been in this position where they're battling for an NCAA berth after they jumped out 15-4.
James is open, and he is fouled.
They fouled him quick, and they had to stop the clock and also to stop a layup from Mr. Williams. And Herb's going to lose a few more hairs tonight. The life of being a coach. There's Mike Krzyzewski, always in command as you look at Herb Sendek. Miami of Ohio, one of those great schools. Your son went there.
Fine school. Down in the Cincinnati area. A lot of good schools in Ohio when you think about it. James coming up to the free throw line now.
Bringing Dunleavy in for his ability to get a little bit more ball handling against pressure. If NC State with a score.
It's big at the line.
Very good free throw shooting team, Duke.
Here comes the first.
Makes one, and we make it a 3-possession game. No, 2, I'm sorry.
He's short, he's short.
But I got the ball.
Jason, and he stepped out of bounds. Ball's out of bounds. Wolfpack basketball.
We had to make, right now it's still a 2-possession game. Oh, this place is rocking. Usually a mathematical whiz. I screwed up on the math. Help me out, Mr. Musburger. All right, here we go. Got to set on the defensive end.
Grundy on the drive, kicks it to the corner. Gainey now kick back Miller. Miller comes back around the horn. Somebody's got to take it. Somebody's got to shoot it. Traveling is called against Miller. You can't be doing that. When you get an open look, you got to gun it.
What an unbelievable defensive effort by Duke, matching up. As you look at Miller's brother, Sean, they really matched up defensively and made him use a lot of time on the clock, and they couldn't get that open shot. Credit that to the Duke defense.
Dick, I honestly thought they had an open look on this side.
Yeah, but a little bashful shooting the ball. The wrong guy had the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I think the wrong guy still has to take it occasionally.
Yeah, exactly, when the clock's running down. There's no question.
Take a look at this now, Dick, and see if you don't see somebody on this replay.
I'm going to see the corner.
Watch number 12.
Oh, yeah, again, he's got to shoot that one right there. He tried to make the extra penetration. And Miller tried to make the penetration. I'll tell you one thing, Duke reacted quickly to the basketball.
Yes, they did.
They really reacted quickly to the basketball. Look at Arch Miller on the sideline. What a great effort, though. These kids didn't fold the 10. They didn't quit.
You know, Dick, it's interesting. These, of course, are just youngsters. But even in the NBA, when they come down to the last minute, it's fascinating to me to watch players kick it back out. They don't want to take that big shot.
Oh, a lot of guys are afraid to take the big shot. A lot of guys really get tight. That's why he had a light to guys like Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan. They didn't care about making a mistake. I had no fear.
17.9, and Carawell to the free throw line.
They got it right in the hands of the guy they wanted, Chris Carawell. He wants the ball. Now, here's a guy that wants to take big shots. This one looked like it was.
What are the odds on him missing?
He's so tough down the stretch of the game.
Exactly. You'd like Carawell. At least I'd love him in this situation.
He's a better than 75% shooter on the free throw line. So confident, plays minute after minute, loves to play.
And he's hit all 4 of his free throws here today.
His improvement offensively.
That's the background he's shooting into. The teeth of a Wolfpack firestorm. Yes, indeed.
Doesn't bother great shooters.
Miller backs into him. Carawell gives him a big old hug. Carawell 8 of 13 from the field. Hit all 5 of his free throws. 6 rebounds and 5 assists. What a great study in concentration.
Look at that concentration. He knows it's in. He knows it's in. So he's such a beautiful kid, too. Short on that one.
Lead is 5, 14 seconds. They cannot take seconds off. They've got to fire it away.
Got to shoot the basketball. Got to shoot the basketball.
Grundy, no. And Miller will take it back out. This game is history, folks.
It's over.
This is 18 straight road wins in the ACC. The longest winning streak in ACC history. They have wrapped up their 4th consecutive ACC record. Duke a winner here today, 71-66. This has been a presentation of ABC in association with ESPN. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. And so we bid you a fond adieu from Raleigh, and the Duke Blue Devils have won it again. This has been Payne Weber College Basketball on ABC.